Russia has invaded Ukraine. They've chosen.
We take you live now to Alliston, where Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is speaking regarding the 2023 federal budget. Let's listen in.
A neighboring country and put an end to 80 years of stability in the after-war era. And the whole world has come together to put sanctions on Russia, to push back against the actions, the illegal and illegitimate actions of Vladimir Putin and his allies. It's an extremely serious issue, and the amount of propaganda that Russia is sharing with its citizens to share lies about this war has required that we take a very important and serious step, which is to ban the voices for propaganda and propaganda tools from Russia. Yes, we have a lot of challenges and concerns about China. I've often spoken of this, but comparing what Russia is doing by killing people in Ukraine, by invading a neighboring country, is completely different. At the same time, there was a complaint 3.5 years ago saying that the CTV was publishing things that were gotten by torture, so why not act? Why not ask for the minister? We're still very concerned by the violations of human rights committed by the Chinese regime, whether it's in Xinjiang or the way the activists, the pro-democratic activists are treated in Hong Kong, whether it's the use of coercive detention like we've seen with the two Michaels. We've never hesitated to push back against China and mention how important it is to tell the truth and to take into consideration what's happening, and we'll continue to do so.
Good morning, Prime Minister. I was wondering if you can address why Canada is violating its own policy framework on returning detainees from Syria, refusing to let a Canadian mother join her 6 children on a flight home due to leave soon.
The situation in northeastern Syria is incredibly volatile. It is of real concern to everyone around the world, and Canada is watching very, very closely and engaged with all of our responsibilities in that. But for obvious reasons, I will not be commenting any further on this issue.
Winnipeg police are investigating the death of a First Nations woman, Linda Mary Beardy, after her remains were found in a city landfill. 3 years after the national inquiry into missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, why is this still happening?
My heart goes out to the community in Winnipeg, to the families of the woman who was killed and left in this way. It is heartbreaking to see this continue to happen. Indeed, over the past years, we have made significant investments and strides in countering gender-based violence, countering the epidemic of violence that continues to strike the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. But there is more to do, and we will continue to be there with the community as it grieves, but we will also continue to be there to put an end to this unconscionable violence.
Next question.
Good morning. Good morning, Prime Minister. My name is Tessa. I'm from CBC News. There's a report out this week about the declining condition of 24 Sussex Drive. This time it's about a rodent infestation. Do you think this is embarrassing for Canada to see a heritage building like this falling apart? Why has it been so hard to decide what to do with the building?
Decisions about what happens in the parliamentary precinct and official residences belong to the National Capital Commission and the folks in charge of that. I made the decision a number of years ago not to move into that house and to ensure that my family lived in a smaller but better place in Rideau Cottage. We continue to work with public servants as they chart a path forward for the official residences.
The follow-up question will be that what needs to happen so that we can finally decide whether to fix that building or knock down and start over?
I know there have been ongoing consultations and important processes to balance the historical heritage nature of that building and the needs of government and of Canadians going forward. Those conversations are continuing within the NCC and the Department of Public Works. Okay. Je sais que les conversations continuent sur
the conversations are ongoing for the National Capital Commission, for the Department of Public Services, on what will be the future of this installation, this ex-official residence. Obviously, we need to balance out the patrimonial and historical aspect of this home with the needs of Canadians in the years to come. For me, my family is well suited in a smaller home, but safer in Rideau Cottage.
Mr. Prime Minister, Mike with CTV News Barrie. What is your message to folks here in the Alliston area, Simcoe County, Barrie, about the production of these vehicles? Let's say they're not a success and people aren't buying hybrid vehicles. Do we have a backup plan here?
I think people are understanding very clearly that the world is changing. And there's a source of a lot of anxiety for a whole bunch of people about how that world is changing. You need only look at the impacts of climate change, the impacts on the war in Ukraine, the impacts of a global economic slowdown, with rising inflation and interest rates, the hangover on supply chains and so many different things from the pandemic. This is a time rife with anxiety for Canadians and for people all around the world. That's why the decisions we made in this last budget are focused on allaying those anxieties and building solutions for the future. On allaying those anxieties, we're stepping up in a targeted way to support Canadians who are having a really tough time right now. Whether it's the hundreds of dollars in the grocery rebate going to millions of Canadians across the country who need it, whether it's moving forward to lower credit card fees for small businesses, whether it's moving forward on delivering dental care for all Canadians, targeting specifically those $90,000 income and less who don't have insurance. We've already had 250,000 kids accessing dental care. At the same time as we're bringing down childcare fees across the country. They've been cut in half in Ontario, and 6 provinces and territories already have seen $10 a day become a reality. These are things we're doing to support families right now in a difficult time, and we will continue to be there to recognize the challenges that families are facing. And it's a real shame that the Conservatives have already said not only that they oppose child care and that they oppose dental care, but that they're going to be voting against this budget with real supports for Canadians. But the other part of this budget is preparing those great jobs for the future, right here in Alliston and right across the country. Whether it's building the electric and hybrid vehicles that the world is going to need in the country.
We've been listening to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in Alliston, taking questions from reporters on a wide range of subjects.